Hi! Today I'm going to be making a shepherd's pie. If you're not familiar with shepherd's pie, a shepherd's pie is pretty much either a beef or lamb meat mixture with a few vegetables, and then as a crust it uses mashed potatoes. I've never made one. I found a recipe on All Recipes, uploaded by someone named STP. It looks delicious and it sounds simple enough, so let's make some delicious beef shepherd's pie. First, we're going to want to peel and cube some potatoes. So use a peeler and peel off your potato skins. Now we can cube our potatoes. So cut them into relatively big chunks, because we're going to mash them later, so you don't have to worry too much about them being too small or too big. Put your potatoes in a large pot of cold water. This is always a good way to cook potatoes. Add a lot of salt to the water and bring it to high heat. And let it come to a boil with the potatoes in it. That's always a good way to cook potatoes. Once it reaches a boil, boil it for 15 minutes. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm using a glass container, so I'm just going to 325. Now take the largest skillet you have, put it over medium-high heat. I'm going a little bit less on mine. And put in 1 pound of lean ground beef. And slowly brown it. The original recipe calls for 4 ounces of sliced mushrooms out of a can, just to keep things simple. But I'm changing it up a little bit and I'm doing 8 ounces of mushrooms, because I really like mushrooms, of fresh ones, and I'm going to saute them myself. Take a 9x13-inch baking dish and spray it. These mushrooms are looking nice and cooked for me. The good thing about mushrooms is you can't overcook them. So these are a good consistency. I'm happy with these. Once your ground beef becomes nice and brown over medium-high heat, drain out some of the fat, so some of the liquid. I'm going to leave a little bit of it though, because I think it adds to the flavor, but I drained out a little more than half of it. So now add your 4 ounces of canned mushrooms, or more if you're like me and want more mushrooms. These were fresh mushrooms. Add in a 15-ounce can of vegetables. I'm adding in 12 ounces of frozen vegetables that I let thaw. Add in 1 condensed can of cream of mushroom soup. And you may have to use your spoon to get this out. One can cream of celery soup, a condensed can. And mix these all together until nice and warm. So you want your vegetables and mushrooms to be heated thoroughly. Do you see now why we needed a big skillet? Make sure you use the biggest one you've got. My vegetables have heated up, so now you'll want to salt and pepper this to taste. Pour it into your 9x13-inch baking dish. And make sure it spreads out evenly. At this point, my potatoes have boiled for 15 minutes. So I'm going to pour them out into a colander, but I'm going to make sure to save some of the water. So take a large bowl, get your boiled potatoes in there, along with some of the water that you saved. Then I'm just going to mash them, old-fashioned. Some people also recommend adding cheese at this point, so I'm going to add a little bit of cheddar cheese. A handful of cheddar cheese will make this nice, or maybe even 2 handfuls. And I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder, just because I like garlic powder a lot. So now take your mashed potatoes and spread them over your mixture, your beef mixture. Alright, I've evenly spread the mashed potatoes out over the top of our beef and vegetable medley. Bake this in your preheated oven for 30 minutes, or until the mashed potatoes are nice and brown and the vegetable beef medley is bubbling. Alright, it's been about 25 minutes for me, and my vegetable and meat mixture is nice and bubbly underneath, and my potatoes are just starting to brown a little bit. So I'd say this is a good point to pull mine out. Let it cool and try a piece. Alright, I've got some of my shepherd's pie in a bowl, making sure I get some of the meat, some of the vegetables, and some of the potatoes. I'm going to let it cool off for a minute and try some. Oh yeah, that's really good. I added some garlic powder to the potatoes, some cheese, makes them really savory. The beef is good, it's juicy, it's well cooked. The celery and mushroom soup go really well with it. The vegetables give a nice kind of other flavor on the side. It's good. It's a nice hearty meal. I think it'd be good in the winter. It's good for the summer too, but this is definitely like a nice strong dish. If you like this video, please subscribe. You'd be surprised how easy this is to make. You can do it. Thanks for watching.